This video isn't for the dreamer still clinging to fairy tales crushed under a freight train of bills and betrayals. It's not for the guy who thinks respect comes with a bouquet or that romance equals relevance. And for the love of Freud, it's not for anyone who believes good intentions hold any weight in the game of desire. There's no room here for emotional Cinderellas. What you're about to see is raw, unsettling, and downright immoral, but it works. This is the secret code that turns the overlooked nice guy into the ghost she can't shake. It's the playbook of the emotional predator, the one who doesn't ask permission, slips into her mind, and never leaves. And before the "that's manipulation" police start knocking, you only manipulate someone if you're terrified of being tossed aside like a used rag after a night out. It's that simple. She doesn't fall for the guy who does everything right. She falls for the one who makes her question her own sanity. The guy who treats her like a puzzle, not a walking compliment. Want to be remembered? Stop being predictable. The dude sending "good morning, princess" texts is the same one she blocks by Monday. While you're checking if she got home safe, another guy's vanishing without a trace. And guess who's haunting her thoughts at 3 a.m.? Is it unfair? Hell yeah. But if you're looking for fair, go apply for a government job. This is war. And wars aren't won with flowers. They're won with silence, with absence, with the surgical precision of being unforgettable without being available. If you're hoping for a cuddly guide, close this video and crawl back to your Men of Valor group chat spamming Bible verses. But if you're ready to turn rejection into ammunition, neediness into cold strategy, and naivety into power, welcome to the immoral code of male seduction. It's not pretty, it's not fair, but it's what works. Before you soak up this wisdom for free like a digital leech, do your part. Hit like, subscribe, and drop a thanks in the comments. Not for me, for the algorithm, because if it's up to your initiative alone, this video would have died in YouTube's cradle. Enough chit-chat. Let's get to the punch. Number 1, the nice guy joke. Oh, the nice guy.
The mascot of every auntie, the unpaid therapist for the needy friend, the go-to shoulder for the girl crying over jerks.
Who she's also hooking up with. He's got the faith of a missionary, convinced that being kind, present, and oh so sweet will make her think, wow, this is the one to settle down with. Adorable. He sends flowers, she sends silence. He offers stability, she dishes out emotional chaos. He dreams of a future together. She's already planned her life, without him. And the saddest part? He's blind to it. Keeps thinking if he's just a bit sweeter, a bit more patient, a bit more different from the rest, she'll fall into his arms like it's the end of a rom-com. Here's the brutal truth no one's had the guts to tell you, but I will. She saw you, and that's exactly why she filed you under never. Modern women don't swoon over predictability. They scoff at the obvious. They don't respect the guy who's always there. They crave the one who vanishes when they need him most. The one who doesn't flinch at their tears. The one who doesn't dance to their desperation. You think you're carving out a spot in her heart, but you're just clogging up her mental cache, the kind her brain auto-deletes. You're like a YouTube tutorial. Helpful, accessible, and forgettable. Because you're predictable. Because you're easy. Because you're the emotional freebie she gets without asking and doesn't bother keeping. Here's the kicker. Seduction starts where comfort ends. In the void. In the doubt. In the classic, what the hell just happened? Want to be remembered? Stop being available. Uninstall the beta version of Mr. Understanding and delete the Always On Call app. There's still time to jump the fence. The code you're about to learn isn't about making her love you. It's about making sure she can't delete you. But first, you've got to kill the nice guy inside you. Because as long as you're the guy who always answers, you'll be the guy she never remembers. Ready for the next step? Number 2, the immoral code. The manual that'll cancel your nice guy self. Now the game's over. This is the part that'll have romantics crying in the shower and good guys banging pots on social media. What's coming isn't Instagram love coach fluff. It's a slap in the face with a wedding ring. Forget everything you've been taught about being nice, being respectful, or showing interest. The immoral code of male seduction isn't built to win hearts. It's built to dominate minds. It's simple. Raw, surgical, 4 commandments, 4 gut punches to the delusion of the submissive man. First commandment, attention is poison. Give her 100% of your attention, and she'll give you 100% of her contempt. The guy glued to his phone all day is the emotional equivalent of a pizza flyer. Nobody reads it, they just toss it. She needs to feel like she's competing with your silence. Your priority is your own reflection, not her unread texts. Want to be desired? Become a mystery. Want to be ignored? Stay predictable. Second commandment, you're the prize, not the beggar. Chase her? You lose. Stop chasing? She trips over herself. Simple as that. The guy begging for affection becomes an emotional freebie. The one who positions himself as rare becomes an obsession. You don't need to be the hottest, just the least available. What's too easy is disposable. Want to be remembered? Disappear. Third commandment, silence is authority. Explaining is groveling. Justifying is humiliation. If she asks why you vanished, hit her with a surgeon's coldness. Because I felt like it. If she's fishing for attention, throw back ice. Didn't seem like it. The man who shuts up rules. And silence from a guy who's done being ignored. That's the kind of scream that echoes in her ego for months. Fourth commandment, detachment isn't weakness, it's cold fury. She thinks you'll lose it when she stops replying. Poor thing. You don't lose it, you vanish with such style it feels choreographed. Disappear with precision. Disappear like you don't have time for drama. And when she realizes you've become an absence etched into her pride, it's over. You didn't leave longing. You left trauma. That's the code. Harsh. Immoral. It works because it doesn't try to please. Modern seduction isn't about flowers, dinners, or cute texts. It's about an absence that stings. A presence that doesn't beg. A coldness she feels even after you're gone. Want to stop being the great guy she respects but never wanted? Ditch the prince fantasy and embrace the mantle of the emotional strategist. Because if you don't use this code, you'll keep serving coffee in the friend zone while some other guy, who barely knows her name, owns the heart you wanted with all your sweet little gestures. Number 3, the ego game. Where love is just a code name for vanity. Forget the idea that women love affection. Sure they do, the same way they love feeding their ego like it's a pet pig headed for an emotional slaughter. And you, my hopeless romantic, are the corn. Here's the ugly truth. Modern seduction isn't about love. It's about control. And control belongs to the ego hers, or yours. Every time you reply instantly, like every post, comment, goddess, queen, perfect, on her meticulously staged selfies. Know what you're doing? You're inflating her ego and deflating yours. She doesn't even have to try. You're already on your emotional knees, handing out validation like it's free swag at a street fair. But the game flips when you stop dancing to her desperation. When you read her message and don't reply, she starts spiraling. When you ghost without warning, she turns into a detective. When you stop commenting, she posts harder. When the applause stops, her show becomes a panic attack. Because her ego got hooked on you being the predictable fool who is always there. Want to see magic? Ghost her. But do it with style. No petty blocks, no dramatic goodbye posts, no cryptic stories. Disappear like you were never there. Then, watch. She'll like your photo from 2018 just to test you. She'll drop empowered quotes that scream passive-aggressive. She'll show up at your spot not knowing you'd be there. All because her ego is starving for proof it still has you. But now you're not the clown in her emotional circus. You're the mirror. And she can't stand seeing her own reflection chasing someone who's already gone. Why? Because it was never love. It was ego. And now that she's lost control, the game's over. Or rather, it's just begun for you. The best part of this comeback? The man who stops reacting becomes a mystery. And no woman sleeps soundly knowing her ego lost to silence. A silence that whispers in the dead of night. Did he forget me? or just find someone better? That doubt, my friend, is the mental virus. And you? You just became the disease her ego can't cure. Number 4, the living ghost. When you stop being a person and become an emotional urban legend, now we're leaving the realm of seduction games and stepping into transformation territory. And it's not a cute glow-up like a butterfly leaving the cocoon. It's the metamorphosis of an emotional predator. It's when a man stops trying to win and starts haunting. You used to be the extra sending good morning texts with emojis. You were the emotional doormat, waiting for recognition like someone waiting for a bus at an abandoned stop. Now, you're the void breathing inside her mind, the absence that bites harder than any presence. Being a living ghost isn't about turning into a cold robot. It's about becoming a strategy that doesn't explain itself. It's vanishing without a heads up. It's cutting ties without making a sound. It's stopping the need to be understood and starting to be remembered with dread. Because the man who disappears without tears, without speeches, without long-winded texts, doesn't become an ex. He becomes an entity. The guy who dips and comes back, she files him under bad phase. But the one who vanishes for good, she mythologizes him. And mythification, my friend, is the ultimate upgrade to your emotional value. She'll pretend she didn't feel it. She'll post a mirror selfie with a snarky caption. She'll kiss someone else just to get a rise out of you. But when her phone goes quiet, when the room's dark, the only name echoing is yours. Not because you asked, but because you left without leaving room for a comeback. And what hurts most? It's not longing. It's unresolved curiosity. It's not understanding why you didn't chase her like the other clowns. It's realizing you weren't an ex. You were a mistake. The kind of mistake she thought she had under control. Until she realized the one who left never wanted to come back. That's seduction in its purest form. Stoic seduction. You became the pain that can't be explained. The name she won't say, but feels. The echo that lingers when everything goes quiet, while others beg to stay. You left like you never existed. Number 5, the final bet, where you stop being hope and become a cursed legend. We've hit the point of no return. The red line separating men still clinging to the pathetic hope of she'll come back someday, from those who've realized the game only changes when you stop playing to please. Here, you decide if you'll be remembered with rage or forgotten with pity. If you're still thinking it over, you've already lost. Most guys, those soap opera heroes, believe in the fantasy of a grand comeback. Her, teary-eyed on her knees, begging for forgiveness. Spoiler alert with a side of slap, that doesn't happen. Never has. Never will. While you're rehearsing that emotional script, she's laughing at your predictability. She knows one "Hey stranger" text will have you replying faster than a bank alert. And that, my friend, kills everything. Kills the mystery. Kills the respect. Kills you. The man still waiting for her to come back is still the puppy chasing someone else's affection. But the man who makes the final bet, he throws away the key, locks the emotional door and burns the map. He doesn't want to be the nice guy she lost. He wants to be the untouchable ghost she'll never reach again. Embracing the villain is the manliest move you can make. Because only those with the guts to be misunderstood command respect. She might call you cold, arrogant, heartless. Perfect. That's music. Because no woman fears the guy who pleases. They fear the one who vanishes without explanation and never returns. The man who's not for sale. Who doesn't go on emotional clearance. The secret? You don't need to preach. You don't need a breakup manifesto. You shut up, you disappear, and you let the void do the dirty work. When she realizes you're gone for real, no hints, no relapses, no dramatic encore, her ego implodes. And in that collapse, regret is born. Late, brutal, and pointless. Bet placed, game over. And the silence, that's your loudest victory. Lethal closing. where you bury the nice guy and become her favorite trauma. You don't need a six-pack, a fancy car, or a killer one-liner to become the emotional nightmare of the woman who thought she had you on a leash. You just need to apply the immoral code. And this code, my friend, doesn't come with flowers. No promises. No happy endings because it doesn't pretend to be a fairy tale. It's built on silence, on absence, on a lethal coldness that only comes from someone who's learned to value himself the hard way by stopping the begging. While the nice guy club sobs into their phones, waiting for a hey that never comes, the man who gets the game sleeps easy. Not because he won, but because he stopped playing. He doesn't chase, doesn't reply, doesn't demand. He vanishes and becomes the name she tries to forget, but screams in her head every time another guy lets her down. This is the immoral code. Stop being the accessible idiot and become the one she could never control. You won't be the sweet ex she misses. You'll be the emotional mistake she pretends she's over, but thinks about every damn day. The silence that cuts, the absence that roars, the ghost she summoned, and now can't exercise. You don't want her affection anymore. You want her regret, not to be remembered with fondness, but to be haunted by the void you left. And that, champ, isn't built with heart emojis at 8 a.m. It's built with discipline, with ice, with strategic absence. The ball's in your court. Keep being the sweet, understanding guy she ignores between stories. Or step into the role of the man who doesn't need approval, doesn't need to be liked, doesn't need to be remembered with a smile. You'll be remembered with rage, with frustration, with that delicious kind of hate that only hits when the penny drops. And she realizes you're not coming back. And on that day, she won't feel longing, she'll feel fury. Because she figured out too late that you were the only man who didn't need her to be a man. And that, my friend, is the perfect ending.